Good morning and welcome to Fun Fold Friday. So I am here with another fun fold for you. And it's one I stumbled across and I think you're really going to have a lot of fun making. And it's a great way to use up our designer series paper too. So, I'm sure you have a few pieces of designer series paper laying around, and so this will give you an opportunity to use some of that 12 by 12 paper. So, because this is a card that features 12-inch designer series paper. So I'm gonna not put my finger in the middle of this video. There we go. Okay, so welcome everybody who's coming in. We're just going to get all set up and ready to go here. So yeah, welcome. Super happy to see you guys here on this Friday morning. So we'll jump right in here to getting our crafting on. Oh goodness, you know, I swear I set my camera thing every week and it changes every week. And I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Okay, so I have my trimmer here because we're going to be cutting our paper. And so I heard this called the 2468 card. And so I thought it'd be fun to just make my own little spin on it and make this card. So here we go. We've got our designer series paper. Now this is, you got that red check on the back. So this paper is from, I have to grab it behind me. This is the Joy of Christmas designer series paper. And so it's from the upcoming mini catalog. So Joy of Christmas. Hopefully you are getting your catalogs in the mail. I know they've started to arrive. So I think this week and next, a lot of those will be coming to you. And you'll see this Joy of Christmas paper in that catalog. So let's look at how we make this card. So we're going to start with a 12-inch piece of designer series paper. Now, if your paper is directional, you'll want to be mindful of how you cut it. So you're going to want to keep the pattern upright. And so you want the pattern, you know, to be the long way, like upright. I don't know. I don't think I'm saying that correctly. So we're folding the card. Wow, why are words hard on Fridays? Your card is going to go the long way. So let me just show you this. We are going to cut our card to 5 1/4 inches. Okay? Not our card, our designer series paper. So we're going to cut a piece that's 5 1/4 by 12. Okay? So when I am looking at my long piece of paper, I need my pattern to be right side up, okay? We don't want our music notes going the wrong direction, is what I'm trying to say. And thankfully, I think most of you followed me there. And then we are going to score it just like the name sounds. It's a 2468 card, so we are going to score at 2, 4, 6, and 8. Ooh, let's not cut it. So we'll score it at 2, and then we'll move it over here to 4, and then we'll go to 6, and then I'm actually just going to turn it around and score at 4, and that's the same thing as scoring at 8. Okay. My desk is far too messy for me to try to take this, so if you're using the Stampin' Up! Trimmer, we do have this, spot that comes out, and so you can cut up to, let's see, 17 1/4 inches on this thing. But I rarely have enough space on my messy desk in order to be able to flip that out. Okay, so we've got our piece of designer series paper, and so we are going to start at the 4-inch panel. So this panel right here is 4 by 5 1/4. Probably sounds familiar to you because that is often the first layer size that we use on a card. So we're going to take this 4-inch panel and we're going to fold over on the first score line closest to that. So we'll crease these as we go. Then we'll fold backwards on the next score line. And we're just going to accordion this card. So we'll go forward And then we'll go backwards. Oh, and I just realized I did this card backwards of how I did the last one. That's obviously an option. I am going to turn this around though. So all I'm going to do is flip it the other way. So I'm just going to refold in all the opposite directions because I actually want the music notes. Because of how I'm tying it in with the next colors and stamping. But as you can see, you can pick either side of your designer series paper to show. And if you folded it the wrong way like I just did, you just turn it over and fold it again. So it still totally works. All right, we're going to take this whole thing and we're going to attach it to a piece of real red. And my real red base is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So 1/4 of a sheet of paper. And because I just took a half a sheet of paper and I cut it in half, that's why it's already cut, because I had already cut the first one. So we'll just tape that right on here. So we've got a full-size card. And then we can begin to decide how we want to decorate, label, sentiment this card. So I'm going to start with a piece of basic white right here. And I'm going to be using a new ribbon that's coming out in the mini catalog. And it's a Night of Navy and Gold ribbon. So it's called a glittered ribbon. It is this, just like that we currently have black and we have, I believe we have both black and white right now of this ribbon. And now we're going to have Night of Navy with gold. So I know I'm going to be putting this right here on my card, but first I'm going to stamp it. So I'm going to use a couple of different stamp sets here today. Both new ones coming up here. We've got Night Divine. I'll be using Joy and Peace from the Night Divine set. And then Stars at Night, I'll be using Merry Christmas and Wishing You the best and brightest holiday season. So that's where these stamps are coming from. So we'll start with that Wishing You the best and brightest. And so it's a photopolymer set. Oh, and I just put ink all over my fingers. Just a second while I wipe it on my pants. This is why I craft in black pants. So I know that I am going to be putting this ribbon right here. So I'm just going to move over my stamped image like so. So it looks like it's off center, but it actually won't be once I put that ribbon in here. So let's go ahead and do that. So we'll cut this and we'll make that long enough to wind around the back of my card. So hold that here. And we'll just adhere this down. Diane says Inky Holly. Yes, yes indeed. Thankfully, while it's still fresh, you can usually get it off your fingers pretty good. But I'm not joking when I say I do wear black pants when I'm crafting because I have a tendency to make messes and I can wipe it on my black pants. And I know it's going to come out in the wash anyways because this is water-based paint. Oh my gosh. Ink. But this way you can't see it when I've wiped it on my pants. All right, so we've got our inside. Now it does stick out, but we're going to take care of that when we put our outside sentiment. But I also want to put a panel here. I want to break up these 4 panels. So I'm going to put something here on the 3rd panel in. So we're going to take a piece of basic white and we're going to cut it to 1 3/4 by 5. So 1 3/4. Let's see here. That side's a little crooked. So 1 3/4 by 5. So for any of the panels where you might want to put something, whether it's on the front or maybe you want to put something on all 4 of the panels, 1 3/4 by 5 is the size to have. So let me just start with a fresh stamp here because we're going to do some masking. So we're going to be using the Joy and Peace. And I'm going to start by taking a Post-it note. And I'm going to cover up and peace. So I have to do it at a little bit of an angle because of the way that the font is. It's almost like an italics font. So there, we're just going to cover that up. And all I'm going to do is ink up the word joy. Okay? So we'll get joy inked up, and I'll take that Post-it note off so I can stamp my panel here. And then we'll do and peace, and we'll ink up and peace. And then I'm just going to take the other side of my Post-it note that's clean, and I'm just going to cover up joy. There we go. So now I can, if you've never heard of this technique before, it's called masking, because you are masking the area that you don't want to stamp. And so that's what we're working with here. So now we've got joy and peace. So we'll stick this here on the inside of our card. We'll just work our way to the outside. So I'm going to put that on the third panel. And these panels are all the same because you remember we scored at 2, 4, 6, and 8. So these are all 2-inch panels. So you could put, you know, different designer series paper on these panels. I was thinking if you were using Zoo Crew, the Zany Zoo, Zoo Crew. The DSP is called Zoo Crew. You could fussy cut one of the animals and put a different animal like on each panel. You know, you could put flowers if you're doing kind of a floral card. I'm going to leave these 2 panels undecorated because I want the music notes to show through. But you have lots of options here for what you might do. Okay, so now we're going to take my die cuts, which have disappeared. Oh, here's one of them. And these are from the Nested Essentials dies. And so I've got the shimmer paper. It's nice and glittery. And then I have slightly smaller in the white. And I'm going to be using them this way. So we're going to grab Merry Christmas. Oh, and one more time, we need the ink. So we'll do Merry Christmas here. Now, when we're working with specialty paper like this one, I do want to make sure that these are going to stick together and stay together so that when it gets to my recipient or when it is 6 months down the road and they pull this card out because they want to read the note again or whatever it might be, I don't want this tag falling off. So to be sure, because I don't know what is going to happen 6 months down the road. Like, I don't know how well these are going to adhere. This is a rougher texture here on top. So what I'm going to do to give extra hold is use tear and tape. You could also use glue. Glue would give you a nice extra hold. But I just think we might want a little bit more heavy duty than just our regular adhesive, so that we make sure this stays together for our recipient. So I always use tear and tape when it's things like different folds where somebody might open and close it numerous times, or for 3D projects, because it just has a nice strong hold. But it's also helpful on specialty paper like this. So we'll put those 2 together, and then I'll really burnish it well to make sure that sticks. There we go. So we've got that, and then we are going to dimensionalize this. So I'm going to put 2 dimensionals on my tag. And my third one, I don't want to have to guess where to put my third one here. So I'm just going to put my third one right here on my card, where I know for sure it'll stay hidden on the flap where I want it. So I'll put it over enough. We're going to cover up those words. And then last but not least, I'm going to take another piece of this navy and gold ribbon that I am just in love with. I love this ribbon so much. I think the navy and gold combination is just, it's just elegant. It's going to be great, obviously, for Christmas cards, but I also think, like, if you were having a, like a wedding or a, I don't know, an anniversary party, this would be great ribbon to use. I think it'll be great on anniversary cards, wedding cards, that sort of thing. Okay, so I'm going to take some glue dots, and we'll add a couple of those. So we can put our ribbon here, our bow, here in the corner. And so then here we have our 2, 4, 6, 8 card. And it opens just like this. With so much creativity available on what you do on these 4 panels. I just think the options are endless for how you could decorate those 4 panels. So this week for Fun Fold Friday, this is your Fun Fold inspiration. So I would love to see your version of this card. I've posted a link to the community group in the video. So you can go over there to the challenge post and you can post your version of this card and be entered to win for the weekly challenge. So, all right, you guys, I can't wait to see your version of this Fun Fold for today. So, well, whatever you're doing this weekend, don't forget to encourage one another and build each other up. I'll see you soon.